This presentation is on conversation analysis, done by Christina Hoff. What is conversation analysis? Conversation analysis is a social scientific approach. It seeks to describe the competencies and procedures involved in the production of any type of social interaction. It treats talk and interaction as an object for analysis. It is done in 4 primary steps. First, you must define a research problem. Then, you will have an audio record. Sometimes you may also have a visual video. Data is then analyzed to find recurring patterns of interaction, which will then lead to developing a model or a rule. There are a few core characteristics of conversation analysis. The first is interaction without reference to the identities of the participants and the details of the setting. Conversation analysis does not place emphasis on the content, only enough to constitute understanding. Emphasis is placed on recurrent orderliness, sequence, and goals. Many of these studies have explicitly concentrated on conversations in institutional settings such as hospitals, police departments, and even schools. An example of a study that uses conversation analysis as its methodology is titled Writing, What the Social Accomplishment of Error Correction Tells About School Literacy. This is published by Christina Davidson. There are 2 research questions. The first is what interaction patterns will surface between the teacher and her students as she corrects the independent writing? The second is, can discussing error be considered school literacy? The purpose of this study was to analyze correction of error by a teacher on a student's independent writing assignment. Participants were from preparatory grade 1 students in Victoria, Australia. They were in their first 2 years of formal schooling in the state education system. In regards to the relationship of the researcher while obtaining data, the researcher was in the classroom setting performing peripheral observation. This is where the researcher sat at a distance in order to get first-hand material while attempting to not be a distraction. Findings suggest that the teacher chose to encourage correction through conversational cues rather than pointing it out explicitly. Interactions were context-specific based on the student and the mistakes made, but 3 consistent interaction patterns were found. 1. Audible noticing by the teacher. 2. Establishing error through talking. And 3. Actual correction done by the student. The presentation of the findings are seen here. The researcher has noted 4 lines, including the interaction being done and the words that are said. After approximately 4 lines, the researcher discusses her specific detailed interpretation of the conversation that she had the chance to see in person. In conclusion, the importance of this study of independent writing is its delineation and description of social organization of interaction during individual activity. Talking about errors in text was shown to be shaped by the teacher's orientation to correction. In turn, this orientation can be linked to an instructional goal whereby students were able to learn about written language by working out their mistakes. Talk was organized to achieve this. The result was the interactional accomplishment of the writing of writing in ways that constituted it as school literacy. Thank you.